Hey everyone, this is Derek with Martial Arts Action Cinema. I am here with Charlie Weber from High Ground. How you doing, man?
I'm well. I'm well. How you doing, Derek?
I'm glad to have you on the show, man. I have to confess right away, of course, I know it's going back and you've heard it probably before, but How to Get Away with Murder, always a winner.
Oh, I loved it. No, I'm always happy to talk about it. It was a big deal for me. A big
uh,
part of my life.
yeah, the funny part that I was waiting to see is because of this movie High Ground and because of your previous performances. I wasn't sure if I was going to get the facial hair or not.
Yeah. I'm always messing around with it. This is actually, I actually head out tomorrow. I'm going to shoot a movie and I'm playing around with the character's look. So this isn't necessarily my hairdo or facial hair. It's his.
Oh, so it
Belongs
was
to belongs to a guy named Billy, not me.
all right. So let's get started talking about the film.
Absolutely.
Let's go with the standard one first. So, what attracted you to this project, and how did you get involved?
Well, I actually developed this movie. My friend John Thaddeus wrote the script, and I had wanted to start producing. I had my daughter's in college. I had some free time. I wanted to uh, really kind of expand my role in cinema. And so I went through a few of my friend John's scripts, and he had this one. And it was very different when I got my hands on it, but I saw a really great movie in there. I just wanted to kind of simplify it and streamline it. So we worked on it for a few months, got in a great place, shopped it around. Luckily, some producers at Paramount loved it, and we made the movie. But I just loved the core characters, and I loved the flow of the movie, which I kind of shrunk down even further. So it takes off immediately. And I wanted to make something and have it resemble, and I'm so happy this worked. I wanted to make sort of a modern day Western. And so you've got your good guy, your bad guy. This happens and there's going to be a showdown.
And you have
And
cowboy boots.
I got my cowboy hat on and the whole bit. But yeah, I had to talk him into that. But it really worked out. I love the movie. I'm super proud of it. And for this to be my first time producing, I couldn't be more proud of how it came out.
So you co-wrote or you solo wrote?
No, no, no. I just helped develop it. John Thaddeus wrote it by
Okay.
himself. He and I actually do have a script we're developing now,
Uh-huh.
but this was all his. I just helped. I just stepped in and kind of finessed it and streamlined it into the kind of movie I wanted. I've always wanted to make, and then we went forward and made it.
Okay. So are you a big fan of the action genre, or if so, what
Huge.
is it about that appeals to you?
Oh, I've loved action movies since I was a little kid. My dad and I sitting around watching Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and just Commando was my favorite movie when I was like 8. I've always loved the genre, and throughout time, and they've only gotten better and better. And I love the way the turn. John Wick changed everything in the coolest way possible, and I love that style of action and those fight sequences. And so that's the kind of stuff I like to do.
So would you like, is it one of those things that, like, even though, you've done other type of roles, is it like something, would you rather continue doing action, or are you trying, do you, like, as an actor, you want to vary it up?
I do vary it up. I do a lot of different stuff, but I do always like to revisit action. I love action movies. I get beat up pretty bad on these things, and so I like to make about one a year. And I do other stuff too, and then that isn't quite as physically demanding, and I have fun doing that as well. But I always seem to find my way back to action
You're, you're like,
because I
okay,
forget how much pain it was,
yeah.
and then I do it again, and I forget, and then I do it again.
You're like, okay, let me heal up from this movie, and then I'll do something nice in, a romantic comedy or
A
something, and
hundred,
then we'll.
100%. That's what I do.
Um, so, any other ones? Just because this is we're on an action website. Is there
Yeah.
any other? You threw in Commando, but any? Do you have any top favorite action films also besides also John Wick?
I also sort of love that thinking man and like the wit of like Die Hard. And then even if you want to go even further, sort of you go down to Air Force One and what Harrison Ford did and what Harrison Ford did with action. He was kind of the first actor, and I think that started changing things as we got down because Schwarzenegger, Stallone, these guys were indestructible, and then you get to a Harrison Ford who's actually playing the stakes and playing fear of his life, and that was kind of a cool thing to see. And now, and then John Wick, I love it. Jason Statham movies are all great. I loved The Beekeeper last year, and so I love just sort of the evolution of action over my lifetime.
Jason Statham's kind of become like a, I don't know, you could say like a new Renaissance action star kind of
That's
thing?
how
Because
he's the guy, man. He just is great at it.
okay, so as you were saying, you're a first time producer on this project. What was that like for you?
I loved it. I fell in love with it. The developmental phase was great. I loved getting my hands on the script and working with it, and then being on set and getting so hands on and just being there constantly and making sure everything was running smooth and doing whatever I could do to help, even when I wasn't, playing the lead and producing was actually not too big of a chore. I really actually enjoyed it.
What were this is of course the fun one. What were the unexpected challenges and surprises that you encountered? Any horror stories or anything?
No, we got real lucky on this one. Great group of actors. Everybody was happy to be there. Everybody had fun making this movie. And that's the core. Great director, great actors, great crew. You kind of can't miss. And so we had a blast doing it. You know, any movie's going to run into its, scheduling problems. And we were very lucky to have control of the house where we shot a lot of the movie in. So it all
The
went
end
pretty.
sequence?
Yeah, that in sequence.
Okay.
That's actually that house is on a lot. That's not a practical house. It's a house that was built on the property of the studio, so it's backlot. So we had complete control, which made it so much easier because I mean, we're blowing out windows and blowing stuff up, and a lot of gunplay in this movie. So because we had control of the set, it actually went really smoothly.
Yeah, so people know there's definitely a fair share of gunplay in this
There is a
movie.
that to put it mildly, there is a fair amount of gunplay.
Okay, well, I wish you good luck with your producing gigs also then because you said this one went smile. It's like, well, I hope it keeps going for
Oh,
you.
listen, man. No, no. This is the first of many. I just fell in love with being that involved in making a movie. I've always felt, when you're an actor, certainly the lead of a movie, you really are steering the ship in some capacity, but I had no idea how much more there was until I started doing this. So it's definitely something that's going to be a part of my life.
Oh, well, let's uh add on to what's one thing that an unexpected thing that you didn't know you had to deal with or handle.
I think it was more just being so thrilled that I was being asked more so, even when you're the lead of a movie, your opinion is valued, but at the end of the day, you're doing your job. As the producer, I got to be hands-on and in every meeting and helping figure things out. And I actually had a lot more creative control than I ever would as just an actor, which was really great. And that's the part I really loved. And so I will, it is hard work for sure, but I actually love it.
Yeah, because I'm sure you don't just like get done to your lines and call cut and like, all right, I'm going to my trailer. It's like, no, we
No,
gotta
yeah,
cut.
there's no more. Yeah, and that's fine with me, And I on high ground, I only had a day or two off total because I was in a lot of it. But the days off I had weren't days off, which I loved. I went to work with everybody else and was there on set in a capacity that anybody needed help, I was helping. And I love being on sets and I love making movies.
Did you have a hand in the casting?
Yeah, I mean a little bit. It's funny. We were having meetings about casting. Everybody was kind of agreeing on everything. Kat McNamara. I was thrilled when Henry Thomas came aboard. And then as far as who was going to play Ezra, my father, we were kicking around different names, and then the producer Stephen Paul was having dinner with John Voight, who I worked with in The Painter, and we had a great time on that one. And my name came up that I was doing this movie with him, and he wanted to see the script and responded to it and wanted to do it, and so that was done, and we headed out to make a movie.
He's like, you're kind of like, oh, so that means John Voight liked working with me. Okay, good.
Oh, he did. No, it was good. No, we work great together. We have a great chemistry on film. It works really well.
I did want to ask you. You kind of touched on John. So, anything else you want to say about working with Catherine and Henry? Because, for at least for my money, I thought having a strong supporting cast is so important for a movie like this. Because, like you're saying, the action movies a lot of times, Schwarzenegger, Stallone, they kind of just like coast through the movie and they're like the center of attention and they just like kind of steal every scene. But these guys really like helped you along with carrying this movie.
They're vital, and that's what that's the kind of movie I love. And Cat was amazing. Henry was fantastic. They were just such pros and so talented. I got really lucky with the cast. But they brought this movie alive. And I was saying the other day, I was with John Voight, and we were talking, and this movie has a ton of heart, which was my hope. You really feel it resonates, family, community, it's all in there. But you can put it on the page, but the actors have to bring that to life, and they did, and I'm so happy about it.
Yeah, it had the the whole small town vibe of,
Yeah, yeah.
intimate
I'm
people.
from a small town. I thought it would be a great backdrop for this story, and so and that worked as well. I was really really happy with that.
Uh, and how did you go about selecting James Oliver Wheatley for your villain? Because for a movie like this, the villain is key.
Oh, he was just perfect. He just stole that part. He was his audition was amazing. He was the guy, and we hired him.
You're
Yeah,
like,
you know.
you are sinister, you're in.
He no his performance because that's and when I say I was trying to make sort of that formula of a western, what's so fascinating about that to me is that I oftentimes play, I've played very layered characters who aren't bad guys. You just are in a different situation and you sort of, there's a reason for the way they are. There's always a reason. And then sometimes you just play a villain. And I like sort of those old Westerns where you've got a good guy and a bad guy, and there's not a whole lot else to talk about. You don't really get into why this guy's so virtuous and this guy's not. You just, here they are, here we go. And I really enjoyed making a movie like that. And where I
the
was the good guy. I've made movies like that where I'm the bad. It goes either way. I've been the good guy plenty, but the villain several times as well.
um he's got that key line. Tell me about the sheriff.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, he was sinister is definitely the word. I mean, his performance is just, and that's another thing. That's what I loved about his performance. He's just a bad guy from top to bottom. Nothing good.
Yeah. Um, what was the difference for you in playing
But real
Jake
quick,
Wolf? Oh,
the irony of that
yes.
before you go on, James Oliver
No.
Wheatley, just to give you insight, like he's just a great actor. He's a lovely person. He and I have actually become really close friends. So he's just a fantastic actor.
So he's actually acting. All right.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's a really talented guy.
I'm sure in your experience that you've met, we don't have to say anything, but like I'm sure you've had people where they play a jerk and they're actually a jerk.
Sure. Yeah. Well, then it's easy for him.
What's the difference for you in playing Jake Wilcott versus some of your previous roles? Like anything maybe in your process or something, or how it came out of you or something?
Jake, by the time I got to set, because I developed the scripts, I knew him so well. I'd spent so much time with him already that I was able to just sort of slip into that. But again, like I was just saying, I wanted to create a guy who certainly had despite being troubled at his core, was just a solid good guy. And that's what, and I just built out from there.
You gotta have a good guy.
Yeah, you do. And Jake Wilcott is a good guy.
Tell us about any of the other upcoming projects that you would like to mention.
Well, we've got this coming out March 18th, which I'm super proud of. I'm off tomorrow, head out to shoot a very cool movie called Highest Stakes, which is more of just a thriller. So I don't think I'm going to get too beat up on this one. I think there's one or two things they'll ask me to do since I'm the one that's doing it, but we'll see what happens. And then I'm developing another movie that I'm really excited about called Bad Blood, which we are now kind of in the casting process, and that's all very exciting. So we'll see where that one goes. But that's it's always, that's the tricky phase. Getting when you want great actors that are in demand, getting them all in the same room at once can be a bit of a trick. But we're that's where we're at with that one.
Oh, nice. So you got your 2025 kind of loaded.
It's pretty loaded, yeah. So that's what I'm up to. I'm super busy, which I'm so fortunate to be, and we'll see how the rest of the year plays out. But so far, it's been great.
Oh, and let's make sure to mention where can people see High Ground?
Okay, it will be out on VOD. You can get that. You can buy it on either Amazon Prime or Apple TV, whichever one you have, and it's available for purchase on March 18th.
Okay. And then last one before I let you go. Do you feel that your character Frank Delfino from How to Get Away with Murder would make a good sheriff in this town?
I don't think he'd be a good sheriff in that town. I think he'd be a good sheriff somewhere a little more urban, with a little more trouble afoot, and where it needs to be a little shadier business. Where maybe a lot of the rules don't get followed.
This town's too good natured for him, huh?
This town is far too good natured for Frank Delfino.
All right, Charlie. Thank you so much for joining us on Martial Arts
Absolutely,
Action
Derek.
Cinema,
Thank
man.
you.
I wish you so much luck with the film. March 18th, people.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
All right, brother.